Good morning. I'd like to pick up a few comments that you've left. I'm going to read from over here. User ZZ6BR6SH 7H says, "It's interesting that you lay the blame squarely on the Greeks and the police for not finding Mosley or Tusor. How about blaming Mosley in particular for setting out in perilous conditions on a long hike on rocky terrain during a heat wave? He set out on a 20-minute walk. No one sane does that. He's disrupted a whole island's peace. They have few resources because there largely is no crime. And somehow, with the figurative resources of, say, Craggy Island on Father Ted, they're meant to find someone who set out on a course that few could survive. Well, actually, they've got firefighters over from the mainland, from Rhodes, and also from Athens. So the resources are not that few. I hope Mosley is found safe and well, I really do. There is something very off about this whole tragedy. But if people do not engage in actions that most sensible people never would, then this whole sorry affair would not have arisen in the first place." Well, first of all, I don't believe I do lay the blame squarely on the Greeks. I think you're projecting something onto me that I haven't put forward in the original video. The disappearance of Dr. Michael Mosley is paralleled by that of John Tusor. But what I do suggest is that the Greek islands are significantly more dangerous than wayward tourists would expect. There are snakes, there are uncertain pathways, there are obstacles, unknown obstacles, and there's the heat, which makes people dizzy and makes them do unexpected things. And then there's the ever-present water. These are ancient islands with ancient traditions, and tourism interrupts the flow of life in many ways. That's the first one. So I don't know whether we can lay the blame squarely on the Greeks. I think we can to a certain extent. Greece is a modern nation and has modern equipment. And it's not the first time that it's happened. But so it's Greece's responsibility. I don't think it's Greece's blame. It's Greece's responsibility to sort this out. And I think in the case of Tusor, it gave up. In the case of Mosley, it's pursuing the issues. And the television dramas which go on, the television programs which go on, are very helpful in keeping these ideas alive, both in Greece and in Turkey. The countries have very active television channels appealing to popular concerns, and we should pay attention to that, I think. The other story which I wanted to pick up, if I can find it again, is from Lamestream Media, who I think has written this a few times. Nigel Farage won Friday night 7-way BBC election debate, a snap poll has found. Don't say which snap poll. The survey of 1,031 voters by More in Common, oh you do, found the New Reform UK leader had come out on top of the debate, followed by Angela Rayner, Labour's deputy, who I thought gave a rather useless performance. 15. Flynn, your guy, got 10%, so you called the debate completely incorrectly. Have I got news for you? Is a leftist swamp of derangement. It's purely for confirmation bias, which is why they spent seconds laughing at Rishi and Starmer, but 7 to 8 minutes laughing at Farage, so out of touch. But then it is a BBC programme. Now, the whole point about comment on political events is that it is just comment, and I'm not claiming to be some sort of oracle. However, I follow the basic principle that that is followed by journalism, which is that if you have a story, you try and find two sources. With those two sources, I feel fairly confident in going ahead. You've only got one source there about who won this Friday night election broadcast. I disagree with it. I've never heard of more in common. 1,031 votes. That doesn't seem a very large number. Number one. Number two, I wasn't interested in some sort of popular poll. I was interested in an analysis of what went on, dramatically, if you wish, rather than in terms of the popularity, and an analysis of the characters. And I thought Angela Rayner gave a very poor performance. I don't know whether I said that at the time. I thought Stephen Flynn, as ever, gave a very good performance. I thought Farage's performance was significantly less effective than I'd expected, as indeed was his announcement that he was standing for election in the first place. Very poor, and he's capable of significantly more than that. The other characters, not so significant, except for Penny Mordaunt, who was unexpectedly good, and then trailed off. Now, when it comes to making claims, I've often made claims, and I hope I've been entertaining about it, that Mr. Putin is dead. My claims there are based on three facts. The first from a Telegram channel called SVR or something, SVP or something, and by a report from a general. Two sources, both saying that Putin died on the 27th of October, just past 8 o'clock in the evening. And also my own experience that the man that we see now is certainly not the man that I met in 2016, I think, or 2017. Different person. And I can't possibly say that I didn't meet a doppelganger. I may well have done. But I can say that the two people are not the same. And with that second information from two sources that suggests that Putin is dead, that is a perfectly reasonable conclusion to take. It's also entertaining. I don't think basing your opinion that Farage has won on one single poll is journalistically defensible, nor indeed credible. And is it important? Not hugely important, but you trot it out again and again and again as if you think that is, the more times you say it, the more believable it becomes. It doesn't become more believable simply because it becomes some sort of mantra. It becomes a religious fact, possibly, but religious facts are not necessarily true and are open to question. And if you wish to start the cult of Nigel Farage, I suppose one will have to make sure that one spells the word correctly. But go ahead. Let's have it. That will be entertaining too. But I see my job here on YouTube to entertain primarily, to inform as much as I possibly can, and to analyse and to provide an opinion which quite often is going to conflict with yours. That's great. So leave your comments. But don't leave the comments more than once, please. It just becomes tiresome. It's if you assume I don't read them. I read them. I don't always comment on them because there isn't a lot of time, and I do other things as well. And in the same way, if you notice something is odd in my videos, if there's not any sound or something, I haven't watched the video because, again, I do other things. I feel that once I've said something, that's it. It's then there in the public domain. It's there for you. And I need to get on with doing another video or doing some more work. I've been furiously animating and also doing a little bit of teaching. And time is sort of running out because students are taking exams. And when it comes to animation, you live on a different plane of reality where you're looking at increments of a second. And that is exciting. It teaches patience, I hope.